Policies and procedures are the backbone of your organization. They literally define your priorities and approach to doing business. Think of policies as a set of shared standards and expectations that provide guidance for decision-making while reinforcing desired workplace behavior. Finally, some policies exist solely to keep your organization on the right side of regulatory and ethical lines, which is no small feat. That sounds like a lot, but when properly managed, your policies and procedures will both shape workplace culture as well as be an expression of it. When poorly managed, employees may start to see policies and procedures as a nuisance, a productivity inhibitor, something to be ignored. That's why it's important to keep your policies current, relevant, and accessible to those who need to follow them. A comprehensive policy management program touches on all parts of the organization, which can make proper administration seem a bit overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be so. It just takes judicious planning and a logical, systematic approach like the one described by the following 6 components. 1. Updates and version control. Policies must be dynamic and updated periodically to reflect changing regulatory requirements or business conditions. This requires strict control, allowing access to only current, approved versions. For larger, multinational companies, this also includes maintaining local language translations of applicable policies. 2. Enterprise-wide access. It is the rare employee who can commit all relevant policies to memory. Current policies, procedures, and other compliance-related information should be available online 24/7. Those who need to reference a policy will know where to look and be confident the information is up to date. 3. Training. For policies to have a meaningful impact on workplace culture, employees must know and understand them. A successful policy management program will include regular employee training on both policies and procedures, emphasizing their importance for a well-run operation. 4. Enforcement and communication. Policies must be enforced or eliminated. There is no middle ground. A policy that is enforced inconsistently or not at all causes everyone to doubt the organization's commitment to its own values. Your program must include a means for employees to report policy violations they observe. Equally important is a feedback mechanism that assures reporters that violations are investigated and appropriate corrective actions are taken. 5. Attestation and certification. For many organizations, employee training on specific policies and regulations is required by law. In these cases, the employer must certify that the training was delivered, and the employee must attest to having read and understood the policies that apply to them. Best practice is to automate the certification and attestation process. This creates an auditable record of each employee's participation. 6. Measurement and improvement. Every good program builds in a means to measure and improve itself. Your policy management approach should be no exception. Key program metrics will include data on training attendance at the individual and department levels, attestation rates, tracking of how often policies are accessed online and by whom, to name a few. A thoughtful policy management program does more than check a regulatory requirement box. It builds trust and confidence among your workforce and demonstrates your organization's commitment to its values. For more guidance on successful policy management, including advice on how to draft more effective policies, download the definitive guide to policy management found in the Build Your Foundation section of Compliance Next.